Being a neckbeard is pretty awesome. At least that's what Zach thinks. Zach's a pretty introverted guy, and he does all the normal neckbeard, sort of nerdy guy in his 30s things. He stays inside all day at his mom's house, playing video games, and basically doing whatever he wants with his life. And he definitely doesn't want to clean his room. His room is disgusting, with fast food containers everywhere, empty soda bottles, just dirt on the ground. He's seen a cockroach or two, but Zach doesn't care. His own hygiene is his own, and it's not like any girls are going to see his room anyway. To be honest, Zach thinks that just doing whatever he wants includes having kind of a messy room, even though his mom hates it. "I'm not going in your room anymore," his mom said. "I've had enough. If you want to clean it, you have to do it yourself." Zach laughed a little bit because he knew that he would never clean his room, and he kept his promise for 3 years. But then one day, in the middle of a gaming session, something strange happened. When he was in the middle of a League of Legends game, he felt something watching him. He turned and he saw a cockroach standing on the top of his PC, looking into his eyes. Normally, the way that cockroaches act, they scurry as soon as he notices them, but not this one. It was watching him intently. Can I help you?" Zach said. The cockroach stared at him intently. It was pretty weird, and even though Zach didn't mind the cockroaches, he didn't have to look at them, make eye contact with another living being like that for so long. He didn't like the feeling. He grabbed a swatter. "Get out of here," Zach said. "I can't do that," the cockroach said. "Ah!" Zach fell to the ground, scurrying away from the cockroach. "Did you just talk?" Zach said. "Yes, we have something to tell you," the cockroach said. "We?" Zach said. All through the corners of his messy room, under the piles of clothes and food and discarded toys from his childhood, cockroaches came into view, surrounding Zach in a circle. They were all watching him in the same way, like people in the middle of a religious event. "Yes, we," the cockroaches said, all in unison. "You are the chosen one," they said. Zach screamed as the cockroaches went all over his body, into every single hole, every orifice of his body. He couldn't even scream because he was choking on too many. Suddenly, Zach woke up. "Oh, it was just a dream," Zach said. His mom pounded on the door. "Are you going to apply to any jobs today?" she said. "I'm not getting any younger." "Yeah, Mom, okay," Zach said, trying to make sense of his dream from last night. Zach didn't usually have vivid dreams like that, and he didn't remember going to bed, but he guessed that that was just the result of too much gaming. He decided he was going to go outside today, but well after the sun set. He looked around his room for cockroaches, but he didn't see anything. He went into his room to brush his teeth like he always did every morning and went to look into the mirror. He gasped. His eyes were the eyes of a cockroach, bug-like and red. He took a step back and he saw that there were things coming out of his chest, legs, cockroach legs coming out of his body. He tried to hold in his scream because he didn't want to alert his mom, but he looked at his reflection in the mirror and had no idea what was happening. It wasn't a dream, was it, last night? He really was chosen, and now his form in front of him proved that. He was becoming something other than human. He had to find those cockroaches and figure out what was happening. He tore his room apart looking for the cockroaches. Normally they were everywhere. He didn't clean, but there was no dice. "Where are you?" Zach said. "What?" his mom said from the other room. "No, Mom, it's fine." He tried to get her not to come in because if she saw him like this, he knew. This life that he had been leading, that he had been enjoying this whole time, it would be over. He had to figure out what was wrong with him and fix it. Now. "You said something about choosing me," Zach said, looking through his stuff. It was weird how bizarrely animal-free his room was. Finally, he gave up, trying to touch the things in his chest, trying to figure out what was happening. They were gone. "Why would you choose me and just leave me alone?" Zach said. 3 days go by. His mom keeps trying to go into his room to see him, but Zach keeps getting her to go away. "I left cleaning supplies outside your door," his mom said. "Your room's starting to stink." Zach played it off like it was fine, but he was internally freaking out. The legs kept growing out of his chest, and parts of his body were becoming smooth, like an exoskeleton. Every day he tried to think of ways to fix it and couldn't think of anything. Every night he was crying, not sure what was happening to him. He went into the bathroom and cut out the legs from his chest with a razor, wincing in pain but refusing to let himself turn into that thing. He put the razor up to his eye. Maybe if he cut it away, his real eyes were still under there. Maybe he could just stop this whole transition. Was he losing his mind? Maybe this was all in his head. Maybe a cockroach was standing on top of the toilet, watching him. "Hey, what's happening to me?" Zach turned around, looking at the cockroach. The cockroach stood there, watching him. "Tell me what's happening to me or I'm going to squish you. I'm going to kill you before I..." A wave of cockroaches came out of the toilet and jumped onto his face. "You're supposed to care for us. Be our king," the cockroaches said. They were speaking in unison, like they all had the same brain. Zach desperately tried to fight them off. It was just cockroaches, but there were so many. "No!" Zach screamed. "Get away from me!" He stumbled towards the door of his room, trying to get the chemical supplies, but it was no use. The cockroaches pinned him down. "We tried to let you transition in peace," the cockroaches said to him, "but we see we need to take new measures." The next time Zach woke up, he was tied to his gaming chair with his own clothes. A mass of cockroaches, now in the shape of a giant mound, all stared at him. "You're awake," the cockroaches said. Zach struggled against his restraints. "You can't do this to me," Zach said. "I have to get out of here." "You really don't get it, do you?" the hive-minded cockroaches said. "We made you like this because you're our slave. Now, you speak the language of the humans. You are made to communicate our interests with the world," the hive mind said. "We require land, territory, resources," the cockroaches said. Zach struggled against his restraints, but they had tied them on tight. "I'll never help you," Zach said. The cockroaches poured over him again. "How much pain do we need to inflict before you understand?" the cockroaches said. They waved onto him, but Zach was a smart guy. He saw his moment. They pushed him towards his restraint on his gaming chair, and Zach used his bug-like leg to cut his restraint. He jumped onto the floor and tried to scramble away from the mound of cockroaches as they pulled him back towards them. "It's not like you were doing anything with your life anyway," the mound said, as they ate into his legs, turning him into a giant cockroach. "Come on, don't you want to be someone important?" Zach crawled with his hands on the carpet, trying to pull himself to the door where the cleaning supplies were. He reached up to the door, but the cockroaches were biting into his back, his chest. His eyes were exploding in pain. "We thought you would understand," the hive mind said. "We thought you would know that you were one of us." Zach grabbed the bug-killing spray from in front of the door. "I'll never be one of you," Zach said, and he sprayed the mass. He killed and killed and killed. He listened to their cockroach screams in his transforming brain as he sprayed them down, but he screamed too. He killed and killed and killed until all the cockroaches were dead. He fell to his knees in the middle of the pile of cockroach corpses and breathed. He looked down at his body. He was 80% of the way to becoming a cockroach. He put the raid up to his bug-like eyes. He didn't know what would happen, but he knew that he had to fix the situation, and there was only one roach left in the room. He prayed. "I don't want to be like this anymore. God, if you're there, I promise if this works, I'll clean up my act," Zach said. God didn't answer, but God never did. He sprayed. Zach's mom opened the door 2 hours later. Zach was cleaning his room, completely back to normal. "Oh, hey Mom," Zach said. "You're cleaning," she smiled. "I don't think I've ever seen you clean before." Zach laughed a little. "Yeah, I guess I'd give it a try." His mom smiled, full of pride. "I always knew you had it in you to change," she said. Zach stood a little straighter, because he knew she was right.